Babe.
Well, I haven't really got a choice. And we are live. Hello, I'm going to hand this over straight to Phil as it's his game after all. But welcome to Pero Geeks 2 with the crew. I rhymed.
Yes, good evening. Welcome to Signs and Portents, session 5, I believe. We are playing D&D again tonight, and I'm going to let my players introduce themselves, starting from the top left like we did last time. So it's Jay. Not Jason, Jay.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's completely different on my screen. So, yeah, anyway, top left is Jay.
Okay.
Hello. I'm Raven Crow Soul. I'm a wild elf, and I'm good with a bow and that.
Okay, Ian, off you go.
Okay. Ian here, playing Sir Bayar of Barston, a knight, the last of his order, save for his squire, Gerard, who's somehow turned up and who I will be keeping a beady eye upon, or not lose him again when we're on this little quest. Yep, that's it. I'm ready to go.
Okay, Ronnie.
Hi there, Ronnie here. I am playing Hadarai Shardson, and of all the half-elf from noble birth, should have been a diplomat but wants to be a bard in the world, I'm at least in the top 10.
Excellent. So, Jason.
Hello, I am playing Rorik of the Craghoth clan. He is a half-dwarf who is currently very far away from home and his clan, being whisked up in politics of the South, if this is the South, or imperialist politics anyway. But he is okay with this for now, because he's still trying to keep his past all hidden and shit.
Okay, and last but not least, Becky.
Oh, I'm not sure I'm worthy of having the spotlight put on me. I'm just a tabaxi from the South. This is the North to me. But, yeah, I'm just... Can somebody else speak? Please, take the light off me.
Okay, so that's the team for tonight. Would anyone, for a point of inspiration, like to recap?
No.
No. No? Okay, so.
Okay, all right.
What's happened last week? You know, we thought we were doing really well. We went shopping. We came back. There was a big... We found a thieves' guild at the house of the mistress. We repelled them in good order, including Cat chasing one guy down and having her wicked way with him in a cart full of hay. And we've discovered the mistress who's been badly beaten, and we're fairly sure, in fact she confirmed, that the eye is gone, and we were deciding whether or not the eye has been taken to the Emperor so that he can hide it away wherever he would want to, or whether it has went with the elite soldiers that were spotted a few hours before heading south, which we're pretty sure south across the mountains into the desert regions is where the other eye is located.
Yes, so basically that's about it. You grabbed your translation, that it got read, and Cressida, tracked it to the south to a temple on the map, and that happened. So we start tonight with decisions to be made. And
the first decision I need to make is, did I get my point of inspiration?
You got a point of inspiration. Why not?
But don't you need the eye in order to find the other eye?
You don't need the eye to find the first eye, no.
Oh, so you don't. So when she said you needed to come along with us with the eye, that was
She was just going to go along to see if she
Okay,
could assist because of her reading skills and
oh.
her insight she has.
So that basically means that if they don't need to take it with them, why would they? And they could keep it safe somewhere else.
That is true.
Yeah, that's my immediate thought. That's why I'm wondering if the Emperor has it at his location.
I have just sent
in
you a
his
map
castle.
on Messenger that should factor into your deliberations of what you do next. So the city at the top on the river is where you currently are. That's Huthwaite.
And it's the city on the river. Is that where we came from?
The small village that was I can't remember what the village was called, but you passed through there on the way to Huthwaite originally. When you crossed the river, you went up that road, and then you diverted there and went south for a little while and came into Huthwaite on this southern road. If you
So
remember,
our start position was off the west.
off the west completely. Yeah, that was
Okay.
Radcliffe. That was on the coast.
Okay.
Have you drawn this using your new present, Phil?
I did, yes, just a quick 15 minutes this afternoon.
Very nice.
I like it.
Well, yeah, if we don't need this eye, find the other one.
So, I believe last week your deliberations were,
Yes, I recall them.
do you go south?
That is here by confronting the Emperor, most likely. Kill his guards en route so they don't find the eye, and then find the eye. These are kind of our options. It's sort of threefold. We can either race them to the eye, kill them first and get the eye, or we can spend time up here. Or actually, there's a fourth option, which is to kill them, come back, deal with this eye, then go get the other eye.
Yeah, but they need both eyes to do anything, don't they? So if we
Yes.
get one of the eyes, then they're kind of buggered.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think maybe, I personally think that maybe getting hold of one eye actually then slows them down, which gives us time. Because even if they get the other eye, if they do all the work by getting the other eye, and we've already got the first eye, then we can get them on the way back and steal the eye off them.
There's only one problem, which is we don't really have a strong lead. Other than we think the Emperor's got it, but when you consider his palace is the size of some cities,
Yeah, it's not
It's a
really
lot
even fun.
it's a lot of palace to hide things in.
Yeah, you're right.
It is, but if he has taken the eye to the palace, he will have it guarded. It might be worth, perhaps, if we can find someone whom we could question to see whether there has been an increase in the number of guards, if they're guarding a specific location within the palace.
There's one other possibility we should consider.
Go for it.
What if Lady Cassiter staged the incident because when she read our futures, she saw our betrayal?
Yeah.
Well, I have a possible solution to that.
You keep it to yourself?
What would you gain by doing that, though?
She would make us believe that she doesn't have the eye, therefore it would be less serious for her to have the one we're about to find, and then of course she could suddenly reveal she has the other eye.
And she could have even sent off the royal troops. I mean, she could be working with the Emperor.
There's all sorts of double dealing we should consider here.
Yes.
The reality is, I don't know if the lead for the eye with the Emperor is necessarily 100%, although I believe it the most likely case.
If if indeed Lady Cressida is somehow involved, put me in a locked room with her for an hour. She'll talk.
So you're going to torture an injured woman?
I am. I'm going to sing. I'm Henry VIII. I am ad nauseum until she gives up. Believe me, after about 20 minutes, she'll be ready to tell you what kind of underwear she wears. She'll tell everything.
I don't know if such a direct approach is necessarily wise, given that he is our sponsor.
Oh, but that's the thing. I'll just be saying it as if it's a song to calm her nerves following such a terrible attack. After about 20 minutes, she'll be pretty fraught. After about half an hour, she'll be tearing her hair out.
And then she'll try to leave the room and discover it's locked and...
Bash you across the head with something heavy.
I never said it was a perfect plan.
Okay. So, what do you want to do? The troops are headed south currently. More
Right.
deliberation time.
I would like to hear from Rorik and Serbio.
Yeah, the balance of probability is it's in the palace.
Soldiers.
You saw a column of soldiers. You didn't really see in that much detail. It's a pity you didn't do the introduction. You could have had a point of inspiration and found out a bit more. But no, you didn't. You caught a glimpse of a column of soldiers. You didn't really see much detail. They were moving quite quickly through a crowd. Gerard knew about it, so you could possibly question Gerard about it. He was at the palace when they're prepping their mission.
Gerard!
Oh, yes, sir. What can I do for you? He's going to be Irish or something.
Tell me about this column that's heading south.
Oh, yes, the best men of the King's Guard, yes.
Who was leading them?
I believe it was the talk was one of the King's mages.
Ah.
Sorry, Emperor's mages.
So there was a magical inclined personage with them.
Well, he wasn't exactly in charge, sir, but he was with them.
Yeah, with them. Okay. Makes sense. If they're going where I think where they're going. I think we should chase them. If possible, overtake them. Get the second eye and slay them on the way back.
And what say you, Rorik?
Well, I suggested the palace. But if you think that there is merit to chasing these people, then fine, I trust you.
Oh, I would defer to your judgment. I think you've seen far more of the world than I have, and weren't you in a band of adventurers once yourself? This is my first time.
It's not a band of adventurers. It's a people fighting for justice, morality.
Sounds like an adventurer to me. Is there something about you doing many great deeds?
I don't want to talk about it.
Seems to me you have more experience than I.
So does...
Look at the palace.
Does Valen have a view on this then, or?
I was wondering if any of my contacts that I've acquired have any insider knowledge of the palace, and if there's a particularly like a treasure room or a room that's used as a strong.
Well, you were told session before last, I believe, with Halloroy's contacts, his family contacts at court. They've been building more treasure rooms. That they'd actually had to build some extra for the amount of wealth that were flooding in.
Because the king is taxing but not spending, right?
Yes.
That's not necessarily he'll put that with all the other things though. If it's something of this power, he'll put it somewhere that only he can get to. You can't trust everyone, can you? Really, especially of something of a power of that kind. I mean, I wouldn't just put it in a treasure room where my treasurers can get to it, and whoever else can wander past and just, I don't know. It's difficult. I mean, like you said, it's the size of a small city, really, and that's a lot of places to look. And without access to the palace, and they're not going to let us in. It'll take.
You certainly have to sneak in.
Yeah, exactly. And without knowing exactly where to go, that could be a very long and arduous sneaking with a lot of risk involved. Because what it takes, if you've got to do it a lot, and you do is cock up once and you're done for it, and then we're being chased by palace guards through a place we don't really know very well, and they probably know a lot better than we do. I think the palace is a bit risky. I think it'd be better if we can get at least one of these things, and then at least that way we've got a bargaining chip with nothing else. And also the fact by having one, it stops anybody from doing anything spectacular with it. Did we know how many of these knights went off?
The count was about 15, I think it was, 12 to 15.
12 to 15, okay.
But then one of them now appears to be a mage, so...
Right. So he'll be the first one to kill him, wouldn't he? Then maybe it would be the best thing to do would be to hunt down get these people, see if we can either follow them so they can find the eye and then we take it off. Because they can't be using the same thing we're using to find it, because the thing that we gave them is a forgery, wasn't it?
You're giving them that. No, there's no forgery.
They have forgeries of the documents.
Yeah, which is exactly
documents.
Yeah, yes. Them documents are the only things that tell you kind of the way ahead.
To be fair, those forgeries contain exactly the same information. It's not like they're magical. They were good.
And we're supposing they hadn't already been looked at.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to procure something that looked vaguely like the eye that we could use for a swap, but that was going to take a day or so for me to acquire those. I was getting those made because I was going to do the swap. But circumstances have forced a rethink. The problem...
If we are marching south, I wouldn't want to lose a day.
No.
But if we for the palace, that could be useful.
What we could do is, if we get that forgery, that fake one, we could always declare that we found it before the soldiers did. And then whoever's got the other one will probably come out of hiding or at least come to see us in some form or another.
Oh, a thought. If we present the Emperor with the stone we've found, the forgery, but we've found it, we've recovered it, or we told him it fell to the lake, he probably knows that's a lie. But him that they're both real stones.
That only works if the Emperor's got it in.
Oh, and of course he'd be unlikely to do it right there in front of us.
Yeah.
Silly idea, I'm so sorry.
No, it's not entirely silly.
You can draw something out.
If we get the fake and we make that proclamation in front of the royal court, our version of events, that the guy had been lost in the lake and it was terrible and all the rest of it, he accepted that. in front of the royal court. Now, he can't then call us liars when we present this fake without revealing the fact that he knew that we were lying the first time. He's going to lose face, and he can't afford to do that.
Or he could just ask us why. If he could actually turn it on us and make us look like the liars that we go to an emperor or whatever.
It's a gamble, but at this point, we are gambling.
I think we're lucky in a sense, right? Because we've got Gerard, right, who's actually already in the royal court, so he could be our eyes inside. And if we then declare that we have the eye to whoever needs to know, right, the church or whoever is important, right? So we have the eye, we have a second eye. He has one part. Gerard can then keep an eye on what happens within the royal court and how the emperor responds to this, and whether he looks a bit kind of anxious and starts. And then if he goes running off to look at his own eye, then maybe Gerard could keep an eye on where he goes. And that way, not only will we know that the emperor's definitely got it because of his reaction, but you may even know where he's hidden it. Or whoever has got it may come forward and say, hold on.
That part may be quite unlikely, I fear, for if it's in private chambers or any kind of secure area, how would Gerard...
No, but the point is he'd be able to go to that area to find out exactly what area the palace he's in. It'll be a lot smaller area to search than the whole palace.
Yes, but that's assuming the king goes directly to it. Why would he do that?
Because he thinks that maybe he hasn't got a real one, and he'll want to verify it.
I would think he's already looked at it and sensed its power.
Maybe.
So, are we any closer on a decision then?
Not really, no.
Here's
What do we
if
want
the palace is that big, if the palace is that big, it'd be a waste of time. We don't know where it's going to be. It could be anywhere, and we could be spending weeks. And the chances are, if you have to sneak around it, that's a hell of a lot of sneaking in a place we have no idea about.
Yeah,
If you're going to break in, you're going to need to sneak.
Yeah, the only counter I would say to that argument, based on it's too big, we're about to go and hunt through an entire fucking desert.
Yeah, no, but at least we've got tracks to follow.
And a temple. We find the temple.
And 50 armed soldiers with a wizard don't go unnoticed.
That's very true, especially the wizard. But we only need one of the eyes. We only need to destroy one of them to be absolutely sure.
But we need one eye to destroy the other.
Or we can just get rid of the other eye, just drop it down a volcano or something, take it to Mordor. Hobbits can do it with you. There's a story I heard.
Who's a hobbit?
Take it hard.
Yeah.
As long as you get rid of one of them, the other one is no use to anybody, is it? And whoever's got it will want
Which one are you going for?
I'd like door number 2, please, Bob.
Which one?
I feel the one to the south carries less risk to us and more chance of getting the stone. But my opinion shouldn't count for much.
I'm no warrior. I will take the warrior's lead on this.
Cressida says, if you're going south, you're going to need to hurry. They've got a good head start on you. If you wanted to go into the palace, there is a whole, virtually a whole army guarding the palace. You could possibly do it. You've done some pretty extraordinary things in the recent past.
Hold on. Are you saying we said all that in front of her?
No, she's come in, and she's just trying to. I'm just trying to point you in the right direction, or give you options and trying to clear it up a little bit for you. I mean, she's not silly. She knows that there is if there's one in the palace, it's got to be tempting. She could say, from what she knows of the Emperor, he's going to keep it close.
Likely in his private quarters or something.
But that doesn't mean by any stretch of the imagination it's going to be easy.
Keeps it in his prison.
But you need to make a decision, because if it's south, the guys are putting out a lead on you.
As
And
I say,
there is a dangerous stone, a very dangerous, powerful stone, still floating around in the south, even if you do find the first one.
South.
Yeah, I agree. South would be a lot easier to take on 15. We'll do a whole palace.
I am but a humble bard. I will take the warriors' lead on this. It's them who are going to have to get us out of trouble.
And she'll say to you, if the map she was using during your reading of the scroll, you can see there's two roads south. Effectively, it splits just after the river. One, the western route, is the safer but longer. The eastern route is the more direct route, but it's more dangerous and a tad quicker. The first one,
what way?
the western route, you have to go over the mountains. There's a path over a mountain that you have to climb up and down.
Which route did they take?
You don't know. You'd assume they've taken the quickest route, but that also passes a border fort.
Yeah, but we take the longer route. They could be on their way back before we can get there.
They're only a few hours head start on us at the moment.
At the moment.
Sorry, did you say the east route passes a fort?
The east route passes a fort before the pass through the mountains.
And who owns that fort?
The fort is a border fort. It's an imperial border fort.
Imperial, right.
It guards the pass. So you have two options south. Longer and safer, or quicker and more dangerous?
Well, you can't. If they're taking quicker, we can't take longer. That kind of defeats the purpose of going after them, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we go the east route.
We have to, don't we? Because ridiculous otherwise.
Well, find a way.
Okay.
There's every possibility they might take the west route, which may give us a chance, based on the notion that they would rather get there safely than risk the possibility of their party not succeeding in acquiring the eye.
No, the fort isn't dangerous to them.
No, it's not.
But the road might be.
Yeah, but generally
road
on
is dangerous.
roads where they cross, you have crossroads and stuff. There's taverns or there's roadside inns, aren't there? So they'll know exactly what route they took.
Uh-huh.
The other thing is there, when you talk about the east and the west route, do you mean by road? Because in that case, there must be cross-country routes we can also take.
We could save time on the river.
You could possibly save time on the river towards the eastern route. Yes.
It might be even cheap. It might be even safer on the river as well.
Yeah.
You can find a canal boat or some sort of boat.
You could probably use rivers to get towards both of your objectives. But the eastern route, there is a river quite close, because it actually passes border for the fort and border for the town.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
that-
Let's mess about on the river.
Yeah, that looks like a good idea. Actually, I thought if it doesn't mean just because there's a road doesn't mean you can travel by it. I mean, it's not like it's going to be built up in houses and stuff, is it? It's going to be fields and forests.
And with shifts, a boat can move 24 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And if you get staff and servants, then travel that without us having to do anything. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, let's hit the water.
Okay,
Yep.
so you're heading south to the first ford, the first bridge.
Yes.
And buy a
Fast
boat.
horses.
Okay, so fastnesses. And she says before you leave, she sends Io out to see you off, because obviously she's at the moment she's bedridden. And she says for you to be careful you're on a really dangerous part of the mission. You have to be careful that the guards ahead of you do not raise the countryside against you as they pass. So keep a low profile and go quickly.
Well, if there's a river, there's going to be fishing boats in there.
But they won't be on the river particularly, will they? They'll be going down the road. So if you go down the river, you should be away from most of that sort of.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There should be
We should
fishing
be able
boats
to-
anyway.
We should be able to overtake them whilst we're on the river. We've just got to get to that bridge and crossing first. I suggest we take 2 horses. The one that we're not riding we'll be able to swap onto. Get a little bit further.
Okay, so you've got
tired.
two horses each. Are you taking any baggage horses, or is you carrying everything you need on your saddles?
We could take some rations on some extra food and water, couldn't we?
Yeah, we've got
Okay.
pack animals and
We're on a river though, so we could probably drink river.
So in the early hours, you saddle up your horses and you wave goodbye from Huthwaite, and you travel out on pretty quiet roads out through the city to the outskirts, and you start down the first stretch of road. Now this is the road you travelled into Huthwaite on, so you know the first few miles of this. You've seen it before. It's lined by fields and farmhouses on either side of you. And this time of day, the only thing on the road is farmers starting to get ready for the day's work in the fields. So you travel pretty quickly without much trouble. Later on in the day, there'll be some extra traffic on the road as trade starts up into Huthwaite. But yeah, you can travel pretty much down the road to that first bridge and that first little village. And as you're entering it, you know, you've seen from the map, it's called Thetford.
We must buy a boat.
Buy a boat.
Ideally,
Wow, I mean, you can see people out and about just about to start the day. They are just getting ready, setting up market stalls, filling wagons for straw. About to launch the fishing boats down to the river.
so it's only taken us a couple of hours to get here.
It's probably it's taking you a bit longer than that, to be honest. But maybe about lunchtime now. Then say. There's plenty of people about. Are you gonna? How big a boat do you need? Are you gonna take 2 boats, 1 boat?
I would say a boat. Ideally, we could maybe bring some of these pack horses, or are we going to discard them when we get to the desert? We probably are, aren't we? Because of the mountains. So
Yeah.
I suppose really it just needs to be big enough for us and enough crew to sail either non-stop, or for us to take over and sail in the day, and then the crew could sail at night or something like that. We want to keep the boat moving.
So
Yes.
so what are you going to pay for the boat? Are you swapping the horses or?
In fact, rather than rowing, why don't we tow the boat to our horses? Oh, but they'll tire. Oh, that's silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can hire someone in road, can't we? We can hire a crew.
There's fishermen there.
We got enough money to hire a crew, so why don't we hire
Pay
a crew?
them. They'll hire. They'll row.
Yeah, we'll hire a
What are
crew.
you paying them? You're paying them gold? Or are you paying them with the horses?
We'll pay them by the day.
Signet ring.
I'll give them how many will
Sorry,
there be? We can hire 6.
6. The boats won't really. This is like a river fishing boat. It's not really going to be that big.
Oh, okay.
2. So we've got a
Couple.
spare in case something happens to it as well.
Yeah, have one pull behind, can't we?
Yeah.
The one of the river barges, the big ones, the square ones that people.
But once you get further down the river, you're going to have to branch off onto a smaller river.
Yes, 2 small fishing boats would be ideal, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so should we hire what? 2 staff? 3 staff?
You can hire 2 for each boat, and then 2 of you go in each boat.
Okay, yeah, 2 for each boat. We'll pay him by the day. We'll pay him a silver piece a day.
Silver piece a day. Wow, that's better than you get make money making you'd make fishing. So, oh yeah, we can do that. We can find 4 men for you, sir. Yes. Good sturdy boat. Won't let you down. Where are we going?
Oh, downriver.
As far as the fort.
As far as the fort, that's a mighty step. That's a couple of days' trip at least, he says. I don't normally go down that far. It's usually stand the wider bit, better fishing. But
You're not
okay.
fishing, you're rowing a boat. I'm also going to ask around if anybody interest coming through the town today. Anything? Because things like knights and stuff will bring up kind of.
There was a column of troops that thundered through very early on in the day.
Right.
Didn't look like they were stopping very very soon.
That's good. That's
Probably
what I
going
like.
to the border outpost. I don't know why they're going in such a hurry.
Did they speak to anyone?
No, they didn't speak to anyone. They just crashed right through.
They're pushing.
If you didn't get out of the way, then you were going to be run over.
Okay.
So, how fast do you want us to row? Is this?
How about a bonus of 5 gold pieces between you when you get to the fort?
Oh, I like the sound of that. Right, we'll do some of that.
That's how fast we'd like to row. It's more a case of rowing non-stop than rowing fast.
So you're going to be rowing in shifts. Are we stopping at all?
No.
Ideally not.
Okay. So you can you start off. You put out into the stream, into the stream of the river, and you start rowing.
And no help.
Are both of you are both the hired crew rowing at a time?
I think what we'll do is we will mix in with them. I think is that work with you guys, so we could do a bit with them and then constantly keep rotating so that some of us are fresh.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know how much you know about rowing. It's a bit of a skill. Keeping time, pulling properly. The first time you do it, you might not tilt your oar quite correctly and not get a grip on the water and fall backwards into the boat. That happens a couple of times, but after a couple of hours, you're in quite a rhythm, quite a groove, and you're knocking along quite steadily. You're passing reeded banks, more farms. There are very few people about, but the odd cops on the bank. Occasionally you see the odd fishermen on the bank, or people tending basket traps in the reeds. Maybe even some people with bows and arrows out hunting duck. And you can have quite a pleasant day, if not easy, but nice quiet pleasant day rowing up the river. Come nightfall, you're not quite used to this sort of effort. Your hands are quite sore. Are you going to push on through the night, or are you going to rest?
Well, but that's why some of us went in the day, and then
yeah. We'll also keep in mind on the bank to see if these soldiers are stopping at any point, especially at night time, to see if there's any campfires or anything like that. They've stopped for the evening, or they're going to carry on through, because if they've been riding their horses full stop, they're going to want to have a break. Okay.
You don't see any campfires. You don't see any fires at all along the bank, and the fishermen are sort of like, no, it seems like a good idea to start with, but they're now questioning the advisability of rowing far into the night. They're saying that they are pretty tired. This is a lot of effort.
Well, that's why we took some of their positions during the day, and then they can
go
with some of the other fishermen and the rest of us for the night.
Yeah, but I mean, this is. I mean, they are quite used to rowing, but this is still quite extreme rowing for them.
But, sorry, the impression I got was that some of them haven't rowed yet.
You've been going for like the whole afternoon. This is getting into early evening now. You've had a
so there's
stopover.
been some alternation already.
There's been some alternation already, yeah.
Okay.
And they start talking about maybe having some warm food and stopping to light a fire.
Well, I didn't
Maybe a couple of hours. That wouldn't hurt, surely.
Yeah, I mean,
Get some duck and get some fish.
I mean, I've got a feeling that these people have stopped anyway. They have to. They can't. Armored troops cannot ride on horseback for that long without stopping. Their horses become exhausted and die. If they've still got 2 days to get to the fort, they've got to stop tonight. I think if you stop, I can scout ahead and see if I can see anything.
We're on the river. It's not adjacent to the road all the way south.
Where you are at the moment, it's not adjacent to the road. You're
Right.
quite away from the road at the moment. You only
How
sort of
far?
like start.
If we actually went back to the riverbank, we actually sort of stopped the boat on the riverbank in order to eat and stuff. And how far would we be from the road from that point?
I mean, that's miles, isn't it?
Right. So you wouldn't see if they'd camped at all anyway. So
No. You only start coming close to the road when you reach that second village.
That's when we need to ask if they've passed through or not.
yeah. Okay. All right. Well, whatever. Then I just want to know.
So if you can roll me persuade somebody or all of you.
What?
Persuade.
13.
Oh god.
8.
5.
$21.
Oh, the bard has a golden tongue. He manages to talk them around to rowing into the night, and they'll keep going. It's the pace is slowed a little bit. It's not a moonlit night. The banks are quite dark around you, but you still keep going. Next day finds you alongside quite a large forest on the northern bank. And the fishermen are telling you that they're going to have to branch off south within the next couple of hours. So you can you get to that point, and you see the smaller river that comes up from the south. It's quite difficult to row into this bit because the streams make it a bit rough just at that point. But you can make it into the small river, and it's not long. It's only a few hours after that you can see a village in the distance on the western bank.
Just out of thought, just as I'm looking at the map there, Phil, can you confirm? Are we going upstream?
You are going upstream.
Yeah, that's going to take a toll on those fishermen. It's going to take a toll on everyone, actually.
Well, all we need to do is get past the fort. Once we're past the fort, it's not an issue anymore, is it?
Yeah, it's only a few hours of it, and then that's pretty much as far as the fish. We need to get off at the river anyway, at the village, and ask if the men have come through.
Yeah.
And hopefully they haven't. We should have passed them.
Hopefully.
Yeah, if we can get. As long as we get past the fort, I'm not worried about.
You're getting off at the village, but getting back on the boat again, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, we need to discuss that as a group and make a decision.
Okay, because you don't have horses now. That's what I'm thinking.
But the problem, well, we can maybe buy some at the village if there are any. In fact, if we bought every horse in the village, that would prevent our rivals from hiring any.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. My thinking is, if we're going to that fort, is that the building on the river between the village
road
and the mountain
river,
range? Yeah. You see, if we went a little bit across country to the edge of the mountains and then came back to the road south of the fort. Then we could just bypass it without having to sneak through.
So you're going into the village?
Definitely, I think.
Yeah, we do.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, we may as
Of course,
well.
there's an entire group here, but I think it would be a good idea to buy every horse.
So you can pull up on the bank. The village is straddling the road, so it's not actually next to the river, but it's only a short walk from the river to the village. You pull up along some other fishing boats that's been drawn up onto the bank, and you can jump out and walk into the village. It's quite an open village. It looks quite normal, thatched cottages. It's quite rural. There's the houses are quite low. There is an inn in the central square in the village. There's a little village square, and there's a blacksmith, and there's a few farm buildings. It's quite a small village.
How many stables/horses do we see?
How many horses do you see? You see maybe 3 horses in the street. 2 of them are attached to carts, and the third one is a riding horse that's tied outside the inn. There's no actual stables you can see from as you walk into the main road from the bank from the riverside.
Okay.
Across the road from you is the inn with the horse tied up.
Should we all spread out, see if they've come through, we should find out if they've come through, and then if they haven't, spread out and buy every horse.
Well, by the looks of things, it's going to be pretty cheap. We've only found 3.
So far. There could be stables behind the inn. We need to ask around in the village who has a horse.
I would have thought that, wouldn't they have horses already bought just for this personal thing, so they can just jump off a new one and ride off again?
Well, they'll be travelling with horses, but the horses will wear out if they're pushing hard, so they'll be changing horses.
Yeah, but wouldn't they already have that facility built in? I mean, just coming here on the off chance you've got some horses is a bit dangerous, isn't it? If you're riding all that way to discover that the village you just went to, and I hope you guys don't have, it's not very well organised, is it?
There might be a rendezvous.
Yeah.
It seems to make sense that if you're an emperor and you've got soldiers, that you're going to have points along the road where they can stop, change their horses, and continue riding, really, rather than just hoping that there'll be something there to change to.
The fishermen have said that they are rushing south. Right? No one normally rushes south.
Yeah. Even if they can do the horse switch, and I agree, they probably do have that facility. The men are going to need rest at some point.
Also, the place where you would put such a thing is in the villages.
They'll be kind of corralled separate.
Yeah, what James is saying is like the stagecoach companies in the States, they had waypoints, didn't they? But
yeah.
They had horses pre-stationed at each one, and they'd swap over, and those horses would stay for the next set going either way.
Okay, then we need to find the nearest staging post.
Yeah.
But first we find out if they come through the town.
I'm going to go to the inn. For no other reason than I need a drink.
Okay.
How long is it to the next, from here, how long is it travel-wise by horse to the actual fort?
To the fort by horse is probably another day.
So this could be a stopover point anyway, couldn't it?
Yeah, this could be a...
Yeah, right, okay.
Okay. So, Hadarai goes into the inn and is welcomed by the innkeeper behind the bar, drawing a big jug out. He goes, "Hello, sir. How can I help you?"
Oh, I've been traveling by boat there, myself and my companions. They're just it's been a little cramped on that boat, it has to be said. They're just giving their legs a little stretch, having a little walk round before they come and have some libation.
You understand, sir, yes.
But quite frankly, I'm parched.
Take a seat. We can swap right there, he says. You down from Huthwaite, are you? We very rarely see such a flamboyantly coloured gentleman in this park.
Oh, what can I say? You recognise the accent then?
Oh, yes, unmistakable, yes.
Huthwaite twin.
quite often get
You
troops
get many?
down through. Occasionally, well, people on the way to the border fort, yes, we get troops through occasionally, he says. Every month they change over.
Gold. So when was that? When was the last time then? I just want to make sure that we're not suddenly going to be relaxing and a whole bunch of troops walk through.
No. Probably about 2 weeks ago they changed the border force, he says.
Wow.
It's a long month out there with on the frontier. He says they've got their hands full. There's a lot of trouble down south.
Oh, pray tell. I'm heading south. I'd like to avoid the hot spots.
He's quite surprised. He said, "You're not heading south." He said, "There's nothing down there. What are you going south for?"
To see what I can see. My friends and I are well. Okay. Truth be known, I'm the talent. They're my bodyguards.
Oh, well known then, sir, are we?
Well, in certain quarters, I'm certainly well renowned, golden tongue and all that.
Oh, I didn't know we had a celebrity.
Well, I try to keep a low profile when I'm traveling. Don't let the gaudy clothes fool you. This is my disguise.
So, what is everyone else doing? You still wander in the village? Are you talking to anybody, or
we're waiting to find out if the guards have been through? So for that, we're waiting for the bard to come back.
Actually, get to that.
Is the bard going to ask or not?
Well, I thought I'd kind of asked with had he not seen soldiers coming? You know, when was the last time he saw soldiers? Because of if that bunch had been if that bunch had flown through here, then that would have been the last time he would have seen them. So it was rather subtle questioning on my part, I thought.
2 weeks ago, they changed the border guard, so
they haven't come through yet.
So no troops this way. Thank goodness for that. I've nothing against the troops, but when you're wanting a quiet drink and so on before making your merry way, the last thing you want is troops thundering by with their horses. Speaking of horses,
they can get a bit rowdy.
Speaking of horses, do you have a livery stable or?
It wouldn't be much mean if we didn't, sir.
I'm talking more for horses for sale. Due to the crampness on the boat, we've been discussing whether or not to continue on the boat or perhaps purchase some horses and continue over land. Do you have horses for sale here?
Well, there might be some. Might be a couple. He says. We won't be able to go much further by boat anyway, because it's going to start getting really narrow soon, I should imagine. But yeah, we could probably. How many horses do you need? You could probably sort you out a couple.
5?
5. Oh, I don't know. Maybe we could stretch to 5.
Excellent. Well, what I will do is, my good man, I'm going to find my comrades, my bodyguards, and I'm going to let them know that we might be able to purchase some horses from you, and we'll be back for more libation and possibly some food as well. Yes. And then we can discuss terms about the horses. So if you can get a nice roaring fire and some good grub going, we'll certainly pay for that.
Sure.
And I head out to find the rest.
Okay. So Hadroy can come and inform you all that the guard have not passed through yet.
He's not seen anyone for 2 weeks. So we've got ahead of them. I don't know how far ahead of them we are, but we've got ahead of them.
And what do you say about horses? Is there horses here for them?
He said he could possibly maybe stretch to 5. He wasn't entirely sure, but I convinced him we would go back for lunch and so on, and we can discuss terms.
Well, not you, hopefully.
Yeah, expensive turn.
I'm learning my colours better.
Okay. So is that what you're doing? You're going back to the inn?
I don't know. Well, we're ahead of them at the moment, so the choices are we keep on ahead of them, or we wait for them here. We just slow them down. That would be nice.
Slow them down.
I mean, if there's particular horses here there's 15 of them, right? Which means I need 15 horses.
Yes. How many horses in the stable?
He thought maybe he could stretch to 5. I'm not
He thought
entirely.
maybe he could sell us 5, but how many is he required to station for soldiers passing through?
Yeah, I mean
That I did not ask him.
Well, maybe we should wander past the stables and have a look.
Yeah, let's go look.
You can wander around the back of the inn. It's a stone cobble yard. There's a couple of stable boys sweeping out. Stables look quite large for the size of inn. There's quite a huge dung pile in one corner of the yard.
There's a big paddock as well, is there?
Yes.
Okay, we'll just wander past the stable and peer in.
Okay, you can probably see about 20 horses inside.
And are any of them marked with like a royal seal or anything?
Some have posher blankets over their backs than the others.
Right. So what we need to do is buy 5 horses and poison the other 15. Not permanently kill them, just poison, take them out of commission for 24 hours.
Can't we just get in a really strong liquor?
No, because it won't knock them out for 24 hours. And you'll have
but if
they may not drink it.
So one of the boys says, hello, gentlemen. The inn's over there. You can go in by that door.
20 horses, please.
So, you can't. No, you can't have 20 horses. They're not all ours.
What if I was rich?
Well, they're not ours to sell you, he says. See, they belong to the emperor.
They're just horses. You can get more. Haven't you got 2 weeks till the guards come through again?
How do you know that? You're not from around these parts, are you?
The innkeeper told us. He said we could have a look.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, you can welcome to have a look. So he's sort of like...
So how much for 20 horses?
Oh, you need to talk to the innkeeper, he says. I couldn't say.
He's not going to sell us 20 horses. But that doesn't mean... I do think we should either poison them or we should burn the stable.
Right, I just want to make sure that we're all online with the efficacy of live horse barbecuing.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about
I'm not saying burn the horses, I'm just saying burn the stable. Let the horses run out. Leave one door open so the horses can flee out that door and burn the other end. So the actual part burns forward as the horses run out.
I think you can make a horse run with just loud noises. I can do that. We just need to open the doors.
The burning stable will be a lot more scary for a longer period of time than
I can be scary to a horse with but a thought. The trick is to open up all of these doors.
We want the horses to scatter, but we want the horses out of commission so that when they get here, there ain't no horse. So which means they're stuck here for 24 hours.
So there is to steal them.
No, there is one other possibility if we can get the stable hand to one side so he doesn't see us. We could always nobble the horses.
I don't want to hurt the animals, but I'm quite happy to steal them. If if we just bribe the stable hand to take a very long lunch with
How are we gonna
enough
still-
gold to live comfortably for a month?
Or we could take Roderick's idea of using booze and providing some sort of sleeping ailment
Yeah,
on
but
the
let's-
stable hand.
Not even that. They can be conscious, but if they can't gallop very well, they're not going to get very far.
Why don't we just tie the horses together and take them?
Wouldn't there be too many
That's a lot of
tracks
horses,
left
isn't it?
behind?
There'll be lots of tracks, but they won't have horses to follow us. We're talking about delaying them to increase our lead. All we have to do is steal 15 horses or 20. If we pay this stable hand enough money to disappear for an hour, to live comfortably for a month, he might well know exactly what's going to happen, but he's not going to be here to stop us.
Well, I do have a poison out and knock him out for 20.
Is that what you want to do? You want to sneak some poison into their feed or the water or something?
It won't hurt them. It's not a deadly poison or anything. It doesn't cause any harm. It just causes them to be unconscious for 24 hours. Then after that, they wake up. Any other time they wake up, they take damage. If they get hit with something, they'll wake up. But if they'll just be unconscious.
Also, if we're on their horses from a distance, we might look like them and enable us to march straight past the fort.
I think like to have flags and all sorts of banners and so forth.
Oh, tish tosh.
Being on their horses and stuff may actually look like we're make them worse.
Minor details.
So, are you going in to see if you can buy them? Are you poisoning them? What are you up to?
I say we give the stable hand 100 gold and tell him to disappear for an hour.
Give the stable boy 100 gold, he'd probably
Well-
disappear forever.
Here's an idea. If we do take the horses and we get up to the fort, for one thing, 20 horses is quite a lot to dispute passing through, but even if they stop us, we can always sell the horses.
Make the money back. I like this idea.
Yeah, but the forts was basically but they won't buy them off us. They already know where they're from, won't they? We don't turn up with.
It's not the point. The point is they won't be the ones chasing us won't be able to buy horses. The ones at the fort won't know who we are.
No, exactly.
They'll maybe have got a carrier pigeon there. I'm going to go up to the stable hand. Tell me, what's your dream in life, and what's your name?
My dream in life is his name is I don't know. Oh, you caught me off on the hop there. My name is Caleb.
Caleb, what's your dream in life?
To own my own farm.
How much does that cost?
Oh, I don't know. He said my uncle said it'd be maybe 100, 200 gold for the one I want. It's down by the river. Good supply of water, good fields.
I'll give you 100 gold if you go there right now and see if they'll take it.
Oh, no one's going to give me 100 gold, Mister.
I put 100 gold in his hand.
What? And he bites one. That seems like it's real.
It is. I just took it off my character sheet.
And he turns and runs away. He runs away.
Right. Let's don't take these horses.
Okay.
Thievery.
We can worry about what we do with them later. The point is they won't be here.
So what are you going to do? You're going to saddle 5 up and then sort of lead the others?
Yeah.
Okay. So are you going to have them in a big long train, or each of you lead in like 3?
Yeah, I think so. Well, what do you reckon? Guys, just put a train on one horse and then have us riding free, and we'll just lead the front horse. Because then we could just let them go at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so you can saddle your horses up. You tie those together, and you're going to lead them out of the yard and around the side of the building into the main street and continue south. I take it.
Yes, and I think we might need to do that bit at speed.
Okay, so yeah, you can do that at speed. I'm not going to do a riding roll because everyone knows how to ride in this sort of day and age. So yeah, you take off at speed, or you around the corner and into the main street. You do hear from behind you the innkeeper rushes out and starts shouting down the street at you, but the what he's shouting is lost in the thunder of your hooves as you race down the road. After you get about 15, 20 minutes out of town, are you gonna slow down a bit?
We got spare horses. I don't know. I'll leave it to the guys.
Maybe check behind us first.
Okay, so yeah, you in this part of the world are farm animals, so they're not like speedy steeds at all. You've probably taken most of the riding horses in the district, so you can travel off, carry on south. So it's going to be another day before you reach the.
What we did to fishermen we had.
Well, you don't know. You just left them beside the river, didn't you?
I hadn't paid them, you were happy.
No.
So you left them beside the river and you shot off down the road. After a while, they'll just get bored of waiting and go home.
Did we pay them fully?
No, we didn't pay them.
The bonus, that's for sure. The silver.
They'll be a bit stroppy when you come back through, if you come back through. So you've paid them for the days they've already done, I take it?
No, I didn't pay them.
Well, I think with the silver, we'd have probably had to have paid them up front, but we never paid them the 5 gold bonus.
Okay. But anyway, you're on horseback now and you're charging down the road. You can probably stop for a few minutes to swap horses, and then I don't know if you can release the horse you were on or take it with you.
I think we should just release them closer to the fort, but...
Okay. Are you stopping overnight, or are you carrying straight on through the night as well? Did some people wanted a long rest or a rest?
That was a fisherman, that wasn't us. So we stopped near the fort, but not in the fort, obviously, because that would be silly. But
you can stop. Yeah, I mean, you can stop before the fort. I mean, the fort is a day away from the village, and you were at the village sort of midday, early afternoon-ish. So there's going to be an overnight period.
I just want to keep an eye on the fort and see if these people don't turn up by some coincidence, amazing thing. They just push their horses further.
Okay, well, I mean,
we'll know if they turn up because we'll suddenly be awoken by the thundering of hooves going past us.
Well, you can stop off road, but I mean, you're too far away to see the fort or the border post.
I kind of want to see how many people are at this border post as well, because they're generally not very well manned, are they?
Not generally, no. I mean, they have been having trouble. I mean, the guy back in the town, if you remember, was saying that they're having trouble at the border.
Yes.
With the tax and things. So yeah.
I was thinking,
but if you want to carry on through the night, you can carry on swapping horses. You'll just be a little bit more tired when you get there.
I was just thinking that when we get there, if there's a way we can close the gate.
Okay, so you push on through the night, and in the morning of the next day, you can see a tower ahead of you beside the road. It seems to be square at the bottom with a tower coming off of it, and it's seems to be the steps up to a door that's at a reasonably high level. There are some outbuildings around the base of the tower.
And that's pretty much it. Is it? It's just for
That's
border.
pretty much it. There's
Right.
not a lot there.
It's kind of like one in Skyrim.
What's the one in Skyrim?
Now, the first one you come across when you have to fight the dragon for the first time. It's basically that tower sticking up next to the road,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
next to the weight run.
It's a tower beside the road with a blockhouse at the bottom and a few outbuildings.
Yeah.
There's no wall.
No dragon.
It's pretty basic. No dragon.
Right.
It's not a real fort. It doesn't have a dragon, damn it.
Yeah.
So you can see a few people in the distance just moving about between the big tower and the actual outbuildings.
Is it nighttime now? Then?
This is sort of mid-morning the next day. You've ridden through the night.
We still got all the horses. Have we got rid of them now?
You've dumped a few. You've had a few swap outs and you've just released the other ones.
Okay. So we're on our normal 5 that we've got now. That we pick the 5 of the best.
You've still got plenty of horses.
Or the best. Well.
I mean, there was 20 horses. There's only 5 of you, so you've only been going a day. So you probably had a couple of changes, maybe.
Yeah, we pick the best ones.
Still got 3 each.
I have absolutely the best horse. Thank you very much. His name is Buttercup.
But
Is that Princess Bride?
Not quite the reference, yeah, but that's where I'm knacking the name from, yeah. But
So yeah, the border fort is in front of you, and there's a few people out and about around the base of the fort, the tower rather than the fort. Sorry. Are you sneaking past? Are you riding up? How are you going to handle that? The river, you can see the river now coming fairly close into the fort and snaking away towards the mountains that are now rising in front of you.
Yeah, I think the plan was to cut across to the mountains and then follow the foothills.
You're going off the road, and you can avoid the fort altogether.
I think that was a good idea. Whoever mentioned it.
Okay, so you head off the road to the west. Then is that the way you were going to go instead of crossing the river? Head off the road to the west, and the fields have dropped away now. This is just basically moor and heath on either side of the road. You can sort of like travel out of the side of the fort to the base of the mountains, and then you're going to work your way back east. I take it to the pass. Okay, so when you reach the road again, you can see the border outpost behind you now. You see a column of smoke rising up from the chimney on top, and the road snakes off into the mountains on a slight upward incline.
is there any way we can block the road after we pass through it? Is like trees we can branch it or rocks?
It's quite wide here. It's quite wide. It's like a mountain pass, so there's not many trees around.
No rocks we can roll in front of it, or
boulders would take quite a lot of effort to move.
Yeah. I think we're slowing them down in further.
The road is becoming quite badly in bad repair now as well.
They're not going to be able to go as fast, are they, if they're travelling? Because that would be dangerous for the horses.
So you're going to
take
turn
it slowly.
I am wondering, as I look at Cat, I've seen you use some mystical power before. Do you have anything that can move the earth?
I'm not that kind of mystic.
Damn. It was worth a thought.
So as you follow the road, you turn into the pass, and you're on the road for about 40 minutes before you come to quite a high. Wow, it looks from a distance like a monolith, but as you come closer to it, there seems to be stones stacked on top of each other to way above head height. Just beside the road. Sorry?
Is there any particular reason for it?
There's no plaque or sign or anything. Just a tower of stones, quite large stones as well.
My guess would be some kind of border marker.
Hmm.
Question is whether it's an imperial border or something else. I came
Or
would
the
from
think-
the desert
Empire.
originally.
It's quite crude for what you think the Empire would erect.
Yeah.
I came from the desert originally, didn't I? So do I recognise this kind of structure?
Oh, it's true. You could do, yeah. You think you possibly do. They are. You think you've seen this in mention to mountain trolls.
Huh.
I don't want to upset the rest of the party, so I won't mention that. Instead, I will say these hills are going to get tougher soon. We should ensure that we're well rested before we venture deeper in.
I would agree.
We've pushed hard for a long time, and I think soon the world will start pushing back at us.
So, what you resting here? Are you? Or
Yeah.
you moving on?
Perhaps 5 minutes back that way. The column unnerves me.
If this is a pass between mountains, is there any way we can get above the road?
Above what? Sorry,
Above the road, above the pass.
Oh, to camp.
not
Yeah.
really.
So I was wondering if this is a good place for an ambush anyway. Because if the road's not very good, then they're going to be travelling slower.
I have an
You could
innate.
climb sorry, you could climb individually up the cliffs, yes, but you couldn't take the horses or anything. Sorry.
No,
Greg.
I realise that.
If we travel back about 5 minutes, I have an innate climb ability. I could scramble up and have a look around the area from what I can see up high.
Well, I have climbing, pretty good climbing abilities as well. So
Okay. So you can go back out of the pass for 5 minutes and find a sheltered spot between some large boulders. You can
I'll check
Get
that
your
the
horse out of
boulders aren't
view.
trolls.
no, they're just boulders. You can get your horses out of view of the road. You can have some food, some cold food to eat if you want.
Yep.
Unless you want to light a
Nice.
fire.
Nice trail rations.
And is Kat gonna do a bit of climbing, or
Yeah, I'll climb up and have a little look around.
okay? So
It's-
you've got quite a good climb, haven't you?
yeah, it's an innate ability. So
Okay. How high are you going?
I will climb up for, let's say, 2 minutes of climbing.
Okay.
So
Overlooking the pass.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You can do that. That's not too difficult. I mean, it's just normal mountains, plenty of footholds, and you might even come across a couple of small trails.
trails of small creatures or of large?
Narrow but large. You think?
So I can see paths around here that trolls would take.
Yes.
What about single fileless Tuscan Raiders?
To hide their numbers. Looking down in the pass, you can see the pass looks fairly empty. It does look like some boulders have recently rolled down towards the road, but the road's not blocked in any sort of
What, behind us?
meaningful sense. In front of you, what would be in front of you?
Okay, so that's likely where they ambushed. Could I see where they rolled from?
Just further up the cliffs. I mean, it is pretty like a pretty rugged sort of terrain, so it could have been rolled down from a number of places.
Okay. All right, I'll come back down, and as we're having dinner, I shall say, Tomorrow we're going to be attacked by trolls. They will begin by rolling stones, large boulders, down the sides of mountains into the pass. And then they will attack. Be vigilant.
Well, that gives us an option, doesn't it? Because we could let the soldiers pass through, so they get attacked by the trolls, and then we could flank them and attack behind.
With any luck, they're days behind us. That's why we put all this effort in.
And we talk to trolls. Are trolls negotiable?
Not really.
Right. See, it's not like you can sort of got some sort of semblance of intelligence or something.
Well, I mean, they have got some semblance of intelligence, but they've got a community as such. They are tribal, but your food effectively. So,
Well, so what's the chance of us actually just being through rather than actually making any noise? It's sort of sneak, but
you could possibly sneak through if you want to try that.
as long as we make ourselves too obvious.
I mean, Kat didn't see anything obvious in the way of trolls when she was looking.
So they could be reliant upon hearing sounds and then doing something rather than constantly watching just in case, because that would be a bit of a boring job, I'd imagine. If people are aware this is a dangerous road and most people take the safe road, then they're not going to get much traffic, are they?
Are they more active at night or during the day?
During the night.
So so if you walk through without making much noise in the day, you may actually pass it without a problem.
So does that mean you're not taking horses?
No, we're taking horses, but horses don't generally sing or whistle, do they, while they walk along?
They can neigh and...
They're not quiet. They don't know how to sneak.
Shod feet on stone. I mean, have a think if you want to take a break for 5 minutes.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Frank.
I'm back. Welcome back.
Hello.
Hello.
It's the Incredible
Hulk again.
Hulk.
It's the Incredible Phil.
Hulk again.
Going from green screen monitor to color monitor. It feels like an Amstrad CPC 464
I don't
in
know why it
real
does that.
time.
He didn't do it on Hangouts.
Welcome to Discord. It's well named, it would seem.
I think we should maybe change to something else. It's like we'll hunt around for a different mechanism, I think.
How is everyone else finding it though? How are you finding it? Because I mean, you use it with XSplit, don't you? I'm just running Discord, and it's.
I'm finding the audio difficult at times.
Yeah. Yeah, the audio seems to fade out after a certain number of seconds and then fade back in again.
The only person that seems to me to be happening with is Jay's. The rest of you seem to be fine on audio.
It's happened with Ian as well on occasion for me. He's dropped in and out. But
Yeah,
certainly
for
Jay.
everybody.
Yeah. So we'll keep hunting for another way of streaming.
Or is Jason going to make it back in?
It's got the busy thing up, suggesting it's reconnecting the camera.
I don't know what's happening.
I can hear you anyway.
Oh, yeah, but the camera for like 2 minutes.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, don't need to be on camera.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
have an amazing memory. I know what you look like.
So, are you going to venture forward into the past now? Are you taking horses, or are you taking?
Well, we're having an actual rest because I don't think we've rested at all yet since we left the capital.
Well, you've been having sort of like short rests on the boat, haven't you?
Mm.
Yeah,
You've not
I
rested
think
since
we
you left
need
that last village.
I think we need a proper rest. Especially if we're going to try and go through a mountain pass. I think we need all our faculties.
Yeah, we're
Not
probably
just-
about a day ahead of the troops, aren't we? At least a day ahead of the troops. I'd imagine.
Plus, I'm hoping that when the troops arrive at the fort, they will feel obliged to spend the night at the fort, which should buy us some more time as well. A certain professional obligation.
It will depend upon. I think it will depend upon horses.
I'm thinking more the fact that if they are, they might be talking to the commanders with regards to our strategy, maybe picking up some more men from the fort to go with them.
It's their last chance to rest before pressing forward, and as much as we could do with the rest right now, they will too. So it's likely they'll stay there. It's also entirely possible that we could be over a day ahead of them by now, as we push so hard.
Well, the river was a good idea, actually.
And we denied them horses at a horse change. There's a good chance that we're over a day ahead.
I think a rest is worth it.
Yep. Okay, so you can take a rest. Are you lighting a fire or anything to cook food, or are you just going to have cold rations? No. Okay. So you can find a fairly secluded spot. You can hide your horses away from any sort of view, and you can take a nice quiet rest.
What do we know of trolls? I'm
I
interested.
don't know. What do you know of trolls?
Oh, well, I mean, I know lots about trolls, but it doesn't mean you don't like us. So what do we know about trolls?
I mean, probably the person that's been closest to where they live is Cat, unless Rorik has been in this neck of the woods.
No. No. I would be more familiar with lycanthrope type creatures. And I know goblin, but that's the closest.
Trolls are the mountain themselves in a humanoid form, as large and as strong as a boulder, with the constitution to match. They are daunting and scary creatures.
Are they scared of fire or something or not?
So legend says. Although whether that applies to mountain trolls, I can't say.
I'm look in ye olde monster manual.
Yeah, the border fort. I mean, as the guy was saying, there's been a lot of trouble in the south. The border is being pressed quite hard. For some reason, recently attacks on the border has become more and more often and more vicious.
I'm going to have something to eat. Not cooked, just cold rations.
We should post guard. I hope it's not too much to ask, but I need to really consider the spells I'm using, and thus I prefer, if I may, on this occasion, to not partake in the guard duties.
Well, I'm prepared to go on guard if that is necessitated, but I would feel much better if I was guarding alongside one of the better prepared members of the crew. I'm not a warrior, you know.
Well, there are 4 others, so who knows? They might agree to that.
Absolutely. 1 warrior on each of 3 watches.
Yeah, I've helped out in the past.
I mean, I suppose you only need 1 person awake. You could to shout a warning.
Well, I only need 4 hours of sleep because I can go into trance state. I'm semi-conscious, which basically means that I can wake up like that and be totally aware, I guess. So I can do my 4 hour. I can do 4 hours of trance in the evening, then be awake for the rest of the night as well.
Okay, so yeah, you can do that. So yeah, you probably get away with your missing out on your guard duty.
And if people want to wake up and keep me company, but other than that, I'm happy to keep an eye on things.
Okay, I spend some of the night with my nose stuck into a book and then go to sleep.
Okay. Any particular order we're taking the watches in?
I would like to take first watch if possible. I would like to get some sleep.
Well, if you take the first 4 hours, then I'll sleep. I'll do my sleep during that 4 hours. Then once you go to bed, wake me up, and then I'll do the rest of the night.
But the whole thing?
Yeah, I need 4 hours sleep a day. So once I've had my 4 hours of sleep, which I'll do whilst the Bard is, and even the Bard and the Paladin are kind of standing there for 4 hours. And after that, I can do the rest. I'm not bothered.
Okay.
I will wake you up before I go to bed.
Okay.
Yeah. My squire will assist you on the final watch.
Yeah, Gerald can probably be running around giving food out as well before he takes a rest and making sure everyone's got what they needed. So during the first watch, Hadaroi doesn't notice anything happening. It seems pretty quiet, and he has an easy watch. He goes over to shake Valen awake for his watch and retires to his pack and goes to sleep. Valen, your watch starts, and your watch passes pretty uneventfully as well. Nothing actually happens, or you hear what you think to be some noises above in the mountains, but they tend to echo. Sound it travels quite a long way as it bounces off the hard surfaces in these mountains. You don't actually see anything to worry you. So, how long do you say you taking the whole watch? Or are you waking someone up next?
Who, me? No, I'm
No, Jay.
Jay.
Sorry, Valen.
Say again, sorry?
You taking the whole watch now?
Yeah.
You're going right
As I
through.
said, I only need 4 hours sleep a day, so as long as I have my 4 hours, which I from 10 till 2, whatever, the rest of the time I'm pretty awake and completely there.
So, you watch the group rest peacefully. Obviously, you've not made any noise, so you've not alerted anyone to your presence. So you take a whole 24 hours rest, uneventfully. As the other members of the party start waking up and readying some food again for themselves, you tell them you've nothing to report. You heard some sounds, but it was all pretty uneventful.
Okay, let's go. I, for one, am taking horse.
Are you taking precautions for your horses?
Yeah, cloth on the hooves, that's about it.
Yeah, walk them through, I think, even though we're probably safer during the day.
Would it be worth putting some guards over their eyes so they're not looking around too much?
Yes.
Yeah, I go with that actually. Keep them focused on the straight ahead only, so they don't panic. Yeah.
And you're just taking the 5 horses?
Yes.
Okay. So you can...
But just before we set off, I think it might be useful to do something I've wanted to do for a very long time. You see, as wizards of kind, as a wizard of a kind, I learned once that it is possible for me to have some kind of a spirit animal as a kind of guide. And in these treacherous terrain, I think it might be wise for me to attempt such a thing.
Spirit guide.
Well, of sorts. I believe the common vernacular is a familiar. I've never had a familiar before, but I will cast this spell, I think.
It's going to be a mouse.
Of course it's a fucking mouse. And indeed, a mouse does appear, and at first I don't acknowledge it because I have it. No, because the thought doesn't even enter my mind that this could be the spirit animal, and then I realise that this prey is watching me, and it's you.
Squeak.
Don't nod at that. Jump
Squeak,
up.
squeak.
Oh gosh, it's you.
Squeak!
Pick the thing up by the tail. Oh, at least I have breakfast. Well, that was a waste.
Is it a white mouse?
Yes. Well, we can be a white mouse straight from Hitchhiker's Guide, but I'm going to swallow it because I'm insulted that my familiar is a mouse, and I will try again another day.
Okay, so you can busy yourself for a first hour muffling your horse's hooves, and do you eat the tail or do you just throw the tail away?
No, the head and the tail is traditionally left, actually, so no, I should in fact rip its head off first, and then bite the tail off. Toss it.
Traditionally.
Yes.
Okay, so you lead your horses into the pass. As you see again the monolith of piled stones, and as you pass that, the walls of the pass seem to get steeper and steeper. And equally, as the walls get steeper, the road ahead gets darker as you go into deeper and deeper shadow. Like I said, the road isn't in particularly good condition, and there are boulders you need to wander around.
I'm looking for boulders on the slopes, so potential ambush sites.
Okay, well, you can see there are quite a few potential ambush sites, actually. Just by the nature of the actual terrain in this area, it is you couldn't have picked a better spot yourself. But it is the only road through the mountain.
Particularly boulders that look like they're in position to be pushed.
Okay, if you could roll me perception, please.
It's like in those old cartoons where the thing that's about to move looks way more detailed in the background.
21.
21. Up ahead, you think you can see maybe a couple or three boulders perched what would be, you think, too precariously on the edge of a platform, not a platform, but of a level area.
Everyone, that could be it. I will scurry up the side,
There's a load of like scree at the base before it goes into the rocks. You can scurry up that and then onto the rock and were you going right up to the boulders?
Yeah, I actually want to get, so before we get to the boulders, I'm not going to climb up underneath them. So a little way before, like from when we see them, I will climb up and I want to get above them to see if I can overlook the area.
Okay, you can get up above them, yes.
Okay, I shall do that and see if I can spot trolls.
What you see when you look down is you can see a form that seems to be lying behind the boulders on the ground.
Lying, huh?
So when we hear that there could be boulders, is it if the pass is sort of long and the boulders are kind of up here, is it worth going single file along the edge of this wall? So if any boulders fall, they'll fall.
They'll sort of roll down because it's a fairly steep cliff.
Oh,
but
right.
There's like a scree
Right.
up against the cliff at the bottom.
Right, so there's no way of doing that.
How close could I get to this lying down creature before it sees me?
You could probably get within 20 feet.
Okay, I'd like to get to about 60 feet.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast a spell.
After that, the cliff gets a little bit tricky to negotiate without making more noise.
I'm going to cast a spell at 60-foot range. And it's a spell that, whilst I whisper under my breath, in the mind of one creature, they will hear the darkest, most sinister speech they've ever heard, as portents of demons and devils run through their mind. It will no doubt notice me, but as it does so, it sees me as the manifestation of those demons, and I'm here to collect its soul. I am casting Cause Fear. on that creature because I want it to fall down the bloody mountain. So it needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
A wisdom saving throw. Okay.
Yes, on a DC of 14.
DC of 14. Oh, right. So it got a 4. Because its wisdom is -1.
Okay, so it should now be terrified of me.
What actually happens is you see this thing sort of like and suddenly jerk up. It was actually sleeping and you've actually given it a nightmare. It looks up, terrified, its eyes wide, as it starts backing away from you.
Mm-hmm. And I shall edge closer to it.
And as you edge closer, it backs up until it's actually leaning against one of these boulders.
I'm still uttering these dark curses.
As it sort of almost turns like this, its shoulder pushes the boulder and it falls backward with the boulder as it plummets down into the pass with the boulder.
Over to you guys. I'm just going to smile to myself.
You hear a bit of a crashing from down below. You see a boulder roll, and you see something falling with it. The boulder bounces a couple of times, making a bit of an echo in the pass, and it crashes into the scree at the bottom of the base, and shards of rock spray everywhere, and it rolls down onto the road.
Well, so much for the element of surprise.
Body thumps down behind it and just slides down the scree a little bit.
Cat. Subtle. Just,
I'm not very worried about the state of the horses.
Oh, yeah, the horses, they were a bit frightened by that. They started worrying and just whinnying a bit and pulling back on the reins.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and calm them down. Just kind of
Whisper.
Well, yeah, in my own dwarven tongue. Say some nice soothing words to them.
Okay, and you can actually start calming the horse down. So you must be a bit of a natural with that.
I do indeed have animal handling.
I think all of you in this sort of era, this sort of setting, would be used to animals, especially someone like Rorik, who's used to travelling quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, animals are second nature, so to all of you, really.
Speak for yourself, good sir. There's something you travel on from one place to the other. I don't get familiar with. I leave that for, the stable hands. Thank you very much.
Okay, then can you roll me animal handling then?
There's a reason I have shitty animal handling. Oh, fantastic amount of animal handling there. That is quite simply the most amazing animal handling roll you are likely to see this year. It is a total of 3.
3. Okay, yeah, your horse is a bit more worried, and you don't seem to be very in control of it. It starts to
Shh, hush, hush, little baby, don't say a word.
Yes, even longer.
Yeah,
Mama's gonna buy you some golden hooves.
You've heard of
And if
horse
those...
whisperer, but this is horse worrying.
I'm gonna go over to the thing.
Over to
The thing and see if it's dead.
okay. Yeah, you can see it is dead. There's a black blood leaking out of it onto the stones.
Right.
And it is its head is smashed onto the rocks as it fell, and it's splattered. It's fallen a decent way.
I'll try and help Hadder around his horse.
Okay, so can you roll me animal handling, seeing his horse is already in a state
Should we all
of
do it, really?
shock.
Should we all roll hand to see if we can come up with us?
No, I don't think you should, because you all, apart from Hadoroi, used to working with animals.
Okay.
So
Hadorai learns an important lesson. Keep his mouth shut.
How'd it go?
15. 15.
15. Okay, yeah. So you do manage to calm his horse down for him, and you've learned some useful lessons there, Hadoroi, about horse animal handling.
Oh, thank you very much. They just don't seem to listen to me at all. I can charm the birds from the trees. I can charm a fair amount of
Well,
humans and dwarves and elves out of there.
you can probably
Well,
charm the
nice.
birds from the trees because they know that you're not going to sit on them.
I suggest you don't.
You
talk
don't
to
know
us.
that? It could be a big bird.
Is Cat on the way back down the hill at this point?
Yes.
Okay. So you're certainly joined by Cat, who retrieves her horse, and are you moving forward, or okay, you move on a bit further?
Yeah.
But I'm going to assume that there's more than one troll ambush on this pass. There may not be, but I'm going to run that assumption and keep looking.
Okay, keep looking. So
It's
could
still,
you?
It's still daylight light, by the way. Sorry.
It is still daylight. Yes. But it was sort of like when you camped yesterday. It was sort of like afternoonish. So you've gone. Your 24 hours has taken you to the afternoon of this day. So you're either going to have to spend the night in the pass or keep walking through the night to get out of the pass, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so can you roll me perception, please, seeing you're actively looking?
12.
12. Okay, so you don't see any more boulders perched, but you do notice a slide of rocks off to your left. Very small stones. Very
Oh.
small stones.
Everyone. Something must be up there.
How's everyone reacting to that? Is everyone?
Yeah, I'm kind of looking. I'm drawing my rapier carefully.
I'm gonna actually get off my horse and try and carefully lead it through.
Okay.
Look up around.
Wielding a blade on a horse is a different matter. And Warwick is definitely not
Yeah.
used to doing that.
I was assuming we were leading him through anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what you're going to do, is it? You're going to keep on leading, but
Perhaps it'd be worth tying them off, a bit further
Maybe.
away from this place.
If we think something is up there, maybe we should check before walking into an ambush.
Well, this is what I'm saying. So leave the horses here and check without them, so we can come back and collect them.
I'm thinking we go up and check.
who's going up?
Well, there are 2 of us that are good climbers.
Make that 3.
3 of us that are good climbers.
Make that. Oh yeah.
Actually, wait here.
Okay, so Hadoroi and Sabior are going to wait in the paths, and the other 3 are going up the cliff, yes?
No, I will stay here and protect these 2.
Okay, Rorik and Valen, as you set off up the cliff, you how high are you going? You going up and coming down, or what are you? Basically, you've got loads of just rocks at different levels up the left hand side of the pass.
Not too high, but definitely to get to a vantage point where we can see.
Okay, you're not climbing. It's not a vertical face or anything, so you're going up through rocks and around rocks,
Okay.
up a steady slope, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay, you notice that there is a path maybe 20 feet above the road below, and it seems to be quite a well-worn path.
Am I able
It-
to get onto the path at all? Can we reach it from here?
You can reach it from where you are, yes.
Yeah, I'm tempted to just check if there are any fresh tracks.
Okay. Could you roll me if you got survival?
I do have survival. Ooh, 21.
Okay, yes, you can see fresh tracks. They are heading along, like shadowing you along the path as you walk. So they've now gone past and ahead of where the group is.
Yeah, and I imagine they're troll prints or large at least.
They're large prints, yes.
Okay. I signal to those down below, basically saying that there's something ahead.
Okay. So, are you carrying on along the path? Who's going first, you or Valen?
Well, if I'm above Roderick, then Roderick can go along the path, and I can above.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, so
Actually.
you're going to go up again, okay.
Yeah, because you can hide amongst the rocks.
Yeah, well, I can basically keep whatever's ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Okay. As you do that, you come to a bit of a corner where there's like a bit of a jutting out rock, and you have to go around this rock to carry on going on the path. But you can hear some noises from the other side of this rock.
You me?
No, Rorik.
Right. Okay.
Am I able to kind of brace myself around the rock, or would I have to actually climb over it?
Now you can brace yourself around the rock. The path carries on around it, but you can't see what's on the other side of it at this moment.
Yeah, I think I would brace myself and go around a little bit, mainly to see, okay, how many are there roughly? Like, how many can I hear?
Okay. You think you can discern 3 distinct voices.
Okay.
Can I see anything from above?
You're moving a bit slower than Rorik because obviously he's on a path and you're climbing through and over boulders and stuff. So if Rorik waits for you, you can sort of catch up, and you can look down onto 3 trolls that are crouching behind more boulders, overlooking the road below. Your friends are a little bit further back down the road, and they appear to be waiting for them.
So I'm above them then.
Yes, you're above them. But actually, when you're above them, you can't see Rorik. Because you've gone past that rock that Rorik's standing behind.
Okay. That's all right.
Let me just...
What's the terrain like further along the path? Is it relatively the same as before? Or?
The pass, yes, it continues pretty much in a similar sort of vein. And from what you can tell, that these paths might run parallel to the main road down below, that the trolls have made this.
Yeah. And I imagine these paths are quite thin, are they? So
they are like, single file type of paths, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this rock that you're standing by at the moment, the trolls would have to be very careful manoeuvring themselves around that rock. You obviously wouldn't have as much trouble, but they would actually really have to be careful around this bit.
And is the rock potentially movable?
It's a large bit of rock. It's not going to move easily.
Having said that, I am a bit of a beefcake.
Okay. Okay then.
Yes, but what about your character?
No, it's definitely my character who's the beefcake.
Okay, do you want to try and move the rock towards them, or do you tip it towards them?
Well, if there's any kind of gravity I can use, if I could maybe prise the rock.
Have you got anything to prize it with?
Apart from my sword, not really. I suppose I could try. Yeah, I could try pushing it.
Okay, you need to give me a strength roll then.
Would that be a save or?
Yeah, save, sorry, yeah.
Okay. 17.
17. Okay, so you lean against the rock and you push it. And you think it might have given a little bit, but it's not moving that much.
Okay, fine.
The voices continue from the other side of the rock. They're concentrating on what's going on down in the valley. What is Valen going to do?
So I can't see Warwick.
Not because you've gone past this rock he's standing behind. You have to come back.
And there's 3 of them, you said.
Yes.
If I step back and how far above am I above Warwick?
10 feet.
Because I'm thinking that if I can actually communicate about what we're planning on doing, then we can coordinate.
Mm.
So I'm going to step back to the point where I can actually see Warwick and sort of, I don't know, tap on the stone or something lightly. Gains it.
I would suggest I actually climb onto the top if it's close enough to these trolls to at least sort of take them by surprise.
You could climb on top. You'd have to sort of like go up towards where Valen is, and then you could sort of crouch down and move across the top of the rock towards them.
Yeah, because I think if we don't do that, then because there's so many of them,
Okay.
we need to throw them to a point where they might even fall off.
We want to get to the point where we can actually.
Might
That's
actually
safe.
be cut off.
So we can surprise them.
Yeah.
So we both need to sort of attack at once, really.
Yeah. So are you going up to Rorik? To Valen, Rorik?
I think so. Yeah, I'd sort of climb up a little bit higher.
Okay, you climb up a little bit higher, and you can move along to the side beside the Valen.
Okay, so
You see the trolls crouched down behind the screen of rocks in front of them,
Ooh, even better.
and they're looking back towards where your friends are down the valley.
Then it'll be slow for them to actually get up and react. Yeah. So I sort of communicate with you. I'm quite tempted to take 2 on if I can.
If you want to.
well, just let me know when you're going to take, so I can.
Well, basically, I would attack 1, and then go for another one to at least surprise 2 of them.
How are you going to attack? What are you using?
My sword.
Oh, you're jumping down then, are you?
Yep.
Okay.
Full sort of Braveheart style.
Okay, so you get advantage on the first one you're attacking, on both of them you're attacking.
Yes, better.
So we attacking both at the same time then?
Yes.
I take it, Valen, what are you using to attack?
On my bow.
Bow. Okay. So are you going when Rorik hits the floor?
Yeah, I'll fire at one of them, the one I've delegated, and then. So yeah,
Okay, so
Preferably
if you,
the one I attack first. But
who's got the highest dex?
Probably Valen.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, mine's 20. So
Okay, so you can fire first, Valen.
right, so I'll.
Okay, in that case I'll go for the one that you hit.
And if the arrow hits, you hit the floor, Rorik.
Well, I'm hoping that the one I hit dies.
Yes.
You heard it as well.
Well, of course we want him to die, but you know.
As you fire, Rorik leaps.
Right, so that's where's my thingy? That's 8. So that's 22.
22. Well, that is a hit.
Right, so damage is D8. So that's 10 plus 2d6. 8. 18 points of damage.
Okay. So you've hit one, and the arrow thumps into his back, and he goes "Arr!" like that as he arches back. Just as he does that, his two friends look over, just as Rourke hits the floor between the two of them.
Yep.
And slashes out.
Yep. Go for the one that's already been.
Remember your advantage.
Yep, I'm doing 2. That is 21.
Oh, another hit.
Should I do damage for this one now, or hit the other one first?
It's entirely up to you.
Alright, okay. Yep, so I go in my shield, so it'll be one-handed. So that one took 8 points of damage.
Okay.
And then I'll use my action surge to attack the next nearest one. Obviously not advantage on that one. But still very good, that's 22.
Okay, that's another hit.
And that's also 8 damage.
Okay, so you've managed to hit all three of them amongst you. The first one that Jay hit with a arrow turns and throws its spear up at you.
Well, I hid straight away. It's one of my cunning actions. I can hide as a cunning action during my turn.
It still, as a reflex, turns and flings the spear up at you. That clatters uselessly off the rocks.
Mm.
Okay, Rorik.
Yeah.
They attack back. One swings a big clawed hand towards you.
Okay.
Okay, that is a 21.
Ooh, that's a hit.
That's a hit. Okay, so that is 4 damage.
4 damage.
4 damage, yes. The second one staggers back, but also slashes out with a claw for 15.
Very miss.
Oh, he was moving back away from your sword stroke, and he just got a load of air as his claw whizzed past you. So, back to Valen.
Okay, so I'm going to stand up, fire again, and then hide again.
If you want to roll again.
This will be a normal attack, it's not a sneak. Also, you get the 2d6. Oh, natural 20.
Oh, okay, that's a hit.
So that's 28. Now, the first natural 20 all day. Damage. What happens on natural 20s? Double damage, is it?
Yeah,
Double
that's
damage.
what I've been doing.
6 plus 6, 12, so 24.
24, okay. Yeah, this is the same one, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He's now got an arrow sticking out of his back and one sticking out of his front.
Jump down and hide.
Rorik.
Yeah, so I'll basically start ploughing into the ones that look the most wounded. So probably that one with his 2 arrows in him.
Yes, the one with 2 arrows in. Okay.
Yep, cool. I will go for that one then. Slam into him. However, I only got a 13 this time.
13, and that's actually a miss.
Yeah, I go a little bit too wide.
You're a little bit too far away from that one to hit that one.
Yeah.
However, he does, now seeing there's someone there with him, slash back at you, but for a 12.
Yeah, definitely miss.
One of the other two gets a 17.
Nope.
Nope. And the third one is actually appalling. It gets a 9.
Yeah, very narrow.
So in the confusion in the very small space, It's too confined for them, for the big arms to get a grip. And you're obviously ducking and diving, and they just can't seem to get the grips of you at the moment. So, Valen,
Again, fire, duck, that sort of thing.
fire and duck. Go on then.
4 dice. 4. 12.
12's a miss. The arrow glances off a rock and goes pinging off into the distance. Valen. No, sorry. Rorik.
Yeah. I mean, more likely than sort of ducking out of the way, I'll probably just be holding up my shield and deflecting any hit. It's a good shield. I will, once again go for the one that's the most wounded.
Okay.
Ooh, I'm not doing well suddenly. That is an 11, which I'm assuming is a miss.
11 is a miss. So, basically, Rorik is down with these 3 trolls now. First one is the injured one is still 2 injured too. One actually manages to get a hit on you, Rorik. He's rolled a 19.
Okay.
He strikes you with a claw for 11 damage.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm gonna use Vengeful Retaliation on that, which basically allows me to move half speed and make a weapon attack against that enemy.
Okay.
They hit me. And that's just rude. That's better. 22.
22, okay. This is the one that hit you.
Yep. That's the
Okay.
one that hits me. That is a 7 for damage.
7 damage, okay. Yeah, the one that hit you staggers back under the ferocity of your attack. But they are still all on their feet.
Yeah.
What's everybody else doing down in the valley? Now you can hear this.
I'm heading towards the battle.
Yeah, moving up, bringing the horses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to saunter forward, horse in tow.
Just walking forward. Okay, so back to Valen.
Yep, again, fire and duck. Probably both dice, but I don't do that. 11, 19.
19, yeah, that's a hit.
Okey-dokey. Damage is 10.
10, excellent. Okay, so this is the same one again.
Yeah.
Alright, he's got another arrow sticking out of him, and he sort of breaks the arrows by swiping his arm across them to carry on fighting. Rorik, what do you want to do?
There's one left now, yes?
No, there's still 3 of them.
Oh, right, I thought a couple had gone down for some reason. Yeah, then again I'll go for the one that is the most wounded.
Okay, that's the one that has arrows sticking out of him, yes.
Yes. Wow. That is a 12.
12, which is a miss, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Okay, so the one with the arrows sticking out of him actually breaks attack and starts to move off down the path ahead of you. The other 2 attack 16.
Yeah, 16 is
Right.
a miss.
16 and a 20.
Yeah. Comes a hit.
Oh, and that's 2
damage.
2 damage. You obviously only got a little bit of your
Complaining.
Okay, so the one that has arrows sticking out of him is actually trying to move off down the path away from you. What did you do next, Valen?
Well, if he's moving away, I don't want him going for reinforcements, even though I don't know if they do that, because obviously at the moment they're outnumber us, so would they go for reinforcements?
Well, he's wounded. He's quite badly wounded, so he's got 3 arrows sticking out of him.
Yeah, well, I'm going to shoot one of the ones that's over there.
Okay.
Can I coat my arrow in poison?
It's going to take you a while to do that. You've got to get it out. You've got to unstop really quick.
I'll just throw my arrow out now. That's 14.
14 is a miss. Again, your arrow goes clattering off into the distance. And Rorik, you continue your fight against the two of them.
Are any of them close to the edges?
Yeah, one of them is. Yeah,
All right, I'll
the
try.
one, the last one you hit is you've backed him up towards the edge.
I will attempt to basically shield bash them off the cliff.
Okay.
Do you want to regular attack roll for this?
How does this work again? It's
I should probably look this up before attempting it. It's treated as an improvised weapon attack.
okay.
So, basically, yes. That is only an 11 again. So that's a miss. Having said that, I want to use Second Wind, which allows me to basically regain some health.
Okay. So the rest of your companions arrive. Well, sorry, arrives on the scene as you just push this troll with your shield, but he braces himself against you. We'll say Sir Bayor doing. Are you up there as well?
I'm not climbing. No, I'm up
You're not climbing.
level.
You're on this path, Hadroy, and you just sort of like edge around this big rock, and you can see Rorik. He's been hit, and he's fighting two trolls.
Right. I am going to sing a song. Because I can, but more importantly, I'm going to use Dissonant Whispers, and I'm going to cast it as a second level. You whisper a discordant melody that only one creature of your choice within range can hear, racking it with terrible pain. The target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it takes, well, because I'm casting it as a second level spell, it takes 4d6 psychic damage and must immediately use its reaction, if available, to move as far as its speed allows away from you.
Okay, so it's just rolled a roll of 4, but its wisdom is -1, so it's rolled a 3.
Yeah, that's less than my 14.
It's 4d6, you said?
4d6.
Oh, do you want to roll that?
Yeah, I just happen to have 4d6 right here. And that's a little crap. That's 14.
14.
Oh, actually, that's 15. I'm talking crap. 15.
Okay, so
15 points of psychic
damage. So the troll looks terrified as it stares at you, as the singing wave washes over it.
Yeah.
He's got bagpipes out.
So basically, it's gonna move at its entire speed the heck away from me, which means it's going.
So
it is going back into the battle, but it's going to be away from Baelor as well.
What it does is it crosses a crook between Rorik and the other troll, and heads off down the path, following the one that's already retreating.
Okay. Rather was hoping that that one that was retreating was coming our way, but
Well, no, because
Yeah.
you're coming. It's going back the other way.
okay.
There's this rock from where you were standing. There's this
Yeah.
big rock. It's hard to get around. It's easy to go off in the other direction. So
At
there's
least I
one
managed.
left.
At least I managed to get down to one.
So what's Sir Bayor and Cat doing?
I'm still sauntering forward until I'm underneath the ambush spot. And then I'm gonna-
Okay. Sir Bayor, are you with Cat?
In fairness, I'm taking my time to get there, so even if he was going forward, he'd probably get there before me.
Yeah, Gerard and I would arrive before her, so we would be waiting and watching. Swords drawn.
Okay then. So Valen, what do you want to do?
Climbing
So,
up there.
are you going to climb up? Okay.
Not climbing up there.
I'm not climbing up. Valen, what do you want to do?
I'm going to fire at another one.
Okay, there's one left in front of Rorik.
Well, that's the one I'll be firing at then.
Okay.
12.
12.
Oh,
Yeah. Another arrow goes clattering off into the distance.
These arrows aren't cheap, you know. It's less than fucking arrows, man.
You did have some magical arrows, if you remember.
Yeah, but only +1. That would only made it 13. That would have still been a miss.
Okay. So, Rorik, what do you want to do?
Just tell me quickly because I was on the low. So, has just one of the trolls retreated, or was it both of them? Sorry.
2 have retreated, 1 is still in front of you.
Well, then I would deal with that one. Thank you very much.
Okie dokie.
Oh my god, these rolls. That is a 10.
Oh, that's a miss. So, yeah, you swing the sword, missing the troll. The troll retaliates with not much better of a roll. That is 15.
Yeah, definite miss.
Definite miss. It brings its spear around and jabs at you, but past you, and maybe snags your cloak. But Hadarai is up there. It's Hadarai's go next.
I am going to, because I don't want to waste the spells. I have drawn my rapier, and I am going to thrust with my rapier and give it a damn good sliding.
Okay.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Luck is for amateurs. What do I add to that? Sorry, still getting used to the combat system.
Yes.
Proficiency
Your
plus your
proficiency.
dex.
Proficiency plus my dex. 26.
Ooh, that's a big hit.
I rolled 19.
Okay. So damage.
Oh, that's just crap. 7. I'm sorry, that was like big hit, little symphony.
That's the trouble. When it happens like that, it is a problem. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Carry on.
At this point, you hear a big boom in the sky. Boom. And as you look up, you can see there's a ragged hole been torn in the clouds, and a streak of red flame heads down towards the earth in front of you. As you see this red thin streak fall, there's a huge explosion and a big flash of light from behind the mountains.
Is the troll in front of me distracted by this?
He is distracted by that.
I would totally like to take advantage of this opportunity
Okay, take advantage of the opportunity.
and shove it forward once again.
Okay, another shield bash, yeah?
That's 13.
13. Is that against its armor class?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a miss. You again you bash it, but it's braced itself against the rock along the edge, and it doesn't go over. This is obviously quite a big planted troll.
Yeah, obviously it's that. Completely that.
So, back to Valen.
I'm going to shoot at the remaining troll,
Okay,
and I hope to hit him. Oh, I may have hit him this time. 16.
that is a hit.
Oh, good. Broken, it may not be. And 8. 14. Well,
Okay.
maximum damage. 14 damage.
So from over Rorik's shoulder, an arrow comes thudding into the chest of this troll. And Rorik, it's your go again now.
Yep. Once again, try and push it off.
Oh, another one. Okay.
That's better. Okay, so I sort of take a breath, think of my tribe, shove them forward on a 19.
Oh, okay. So obviously the arrows just put him slightly that little bit off balance as you come in and sort of up with your shield this time instead of forward. You just lift it just slightly with your shield and give a mighty heave forward, and it screams as it topples backwards and topples down the cliff and hits the ground in front of Sabrior. And it's lying there, and it's just.
Gerard, finish it.
So the way is clear now.
Sorry, there was explosions of fire ahead of us.
There was a big boom, and there's a ragged hole torn in the clouds ahead of you, yeah, and a big streak of fire. And then once that fell to earth, there was a huge explosion and a big flash of light from behind the mountains.
Oh, that's the stone.
Yeah, that's the stone.
Onward!
Very much so onward.
Yeah.
So,
Let's.
anyone going to just stop for 5 seconds and tend to Rorik's injuries, or?
Well, I'm not in a terrible condition. I've got a few dramatic cuts and bruises.
He can lick himself better.
Some scars for the ladies.
Yeah, at the moment I'm okay.
So, yeah,
Press
you
on.
can. What are you doing? Are you rushing forward now, or are you continuing on foot? Are you mounting?
How much more of this mountain is left, and what time of day is it?
It's getting on towards evening now.
Yeah, we could put ourselves into more danger if we rush forward.
Yeah, let's take it slow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can take it slow. Obviously, there are 2 of these trolls that have got away.
My concern about going slowly is not just the trolls that got away, but there are other creatures that live in the desert. Some of them intelligent. Many of them will come to investigate.
So we run through it, mount a horse and just gallop through it.
We could take that risk.
Because we're faster than they are, so...
Yeah.
It's not so much the people behind us as the creatures that are already ahead of us. Just by virtue of where they started.
Okay. So, are you going to mount and run, or?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, you mount on the horses. You take the muffling off the feet, and you unshutter their eyes, their blinkers, and you rush forward. You find the ground a little bit treacherous, but you can make pretty good time. You don't see any more trolls. Okay.
I always worry when the DM says you don't see any more trolls after making his roll.
But ahead of you, it seems to be the view ahead of you seems to be widening out. It isn't so enclosed anymore. It seems to be the cliff seems to be tapering back, and you seem to be getting more of a view in front of you. Could you roll me Constitution checks, please? Saving rolls.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really not. Don't want
Something
to.
just gone wrong.
Good time to get a natural 20.
18.
20, I heard.
12.
So it's time to finish, yeah?
Yeah, it sounded like a good time. Yeah, just
Yeah,
you know,
a good time to
and
stop
all
for
that.
the night, yeah.
It's good
Okay.
time for the.
I got a 7.
A 7. Okay.
So
let me
whatever
make
it is, I failed.
And 15 for Bale,
Balin.
whatever Gerard gets.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. If you want to leave it there for tonight.
Yeah.
It is 10 past 11.
Oh, you weren't joking. Okay.
It was actually kind of meant as a joke because of the whole I rolled
Okay.
badly.
Unless
But
if you want to carry on,
I'm
it's entirely up to you.
as the GM, you should choose your moment when you feel it's best to leave it in terms of whatever
I
suspension.
suppose it might be a good place to leave it as we leave the mountains, starting the desert next time.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds a good move.
Okay, we'll do that then.
We will leave it with a Constitution save, which is undescribed.
As long as you get 20 down, it's all good.
And I know I failed.
Yeah,
Don't worry,
are
I've
all
failed with you.
Are all failed Constitution rolls bad?
Well, it depends.
Yes.
Unless if you fail, you throw up, which makes you lighter, which means you run faster.
I'm going with the fact that I failed to be a bad thing.
What did you roll, Ronnie?
I rolled 12 in total, so I've got a feeling.
If it was an easy test, you may have passed.
That's true.
Yes, I would like to be as hopeful as you all are. However, I am. But
I would have failed a trivial test with my roll. Not a fumble.
Not a fun. Okay, so we'll leave that for this week, and we'll start next week with our Constitution rolls.
Okay.
oh.
Bye then.
Does
Thank
that
you for
does that
watching,
mean?
Steve.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, Steve. Catch you later.
Hi, Steve. Bye, Steve.